What's up, guys? My name's Mason, but you can call me Golden, and I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. This story time is very funny to look back on, but in the time that it happened, I was very nervous and afraid. The title doesn't really make sense to what I just said, but you'll get it when I tell the story. But before I get into it, I just want to apologize for being so inconsistent. I want to say I've been busy, which I have, but it's more the lazy part. I've definitely had more than enough time to put out videos every day that I haven't. So it's all really just my fault. Sorry for that, for the people that care. Anyway, let's just get right into the video. This story takes place spring of 2022, just after, well, a few months after I got my learner's driver's license. That's where I can drive with a parent. I remember there was just a bit of snow on the ground, which is good for the story I'm about to tell. I really have no idea what I did on this day, so I'll just get right to the point. So in the title, I have Grown Man Punches a Kid, which sounds bad, but just let me explain. The adult in this story happens to be my dad, and we were driving home from Denny's, and I was driving. Don't know why we were at Denny's. That's a very uncommon place for like my family to go. No hate, but it just is. So I'm just driving down Main Street on our way home, and my street is at like the very end of Main Street. So I turned off. We're just going up my road, and my dad spots one of his friends. And I live in a small town, so there's people you know everywhere, especially for dads. So anyway, he tells me to pull over because he wanted to talk to him. And I was like, all right. So I pulled over, put that bitch in park. And my dad didn't get out or nothing. He was just talking to his friend. No idea who he was, so I was just kind of sitting there, twiddling my thumbs. And I look up out my left side view mirror, and I see this super old car absolutely ripping. And I live in a residential area, so you can't be ripping. It's like a 50-kilometer-an-hour speed zone. But for my neighborhood, if it's like midday, which it was, you should probably be going like 40, just in case, because there's a lot of kids in the area. But this guy was probably going double that. And on top of it, he almost ran into my dad's truck. So my dad's like, see you later, Brian. Or whatever the fuck his name is, I don't know. He rolls up his window. He's like, Mason, follow that fucker. And I'm like, you're joking. And he's like, nope, follow him right now. I'm being serious, swear to God. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just tailing this guy. He kind of slows down after he almost ran into my dad's truck, but he basically does a circle around the block because I think he noticed that I was following him. So we're going through like many neighborhoods. So by now he definitely knows that I'm following him. So eventually we end up in this apartment parking lot, and the way that he stopped, you could just tell that he was like just parking for us to talk to him. So I park alongside him, and my heart's just fucking pumping because I don't know what my dad is going to do here. So my dad rolls his window down, and then this guy rolls his window down, and I could just tell this guy was young. Not younger than me, because I was 16, and I wasn't allowed to drive alone, but this guy could. But I'm pretty sure he was like 18. Well, actually, I know he was 18 because we figured out after. But anyway, my dad's just yelling at him from like his window to his. And at first my dad was kind of calm, and he was like, you need to watch where you're fucking going. And how fast were you going? Because you were going a lot faster than the speed limit, I can tell you that for sure. And do you know how many kids are around this neighborhood? And he was like, I was going like 50. And that was a straight up lie, because we both know what 50 looks like. And he was going like, I don't know, double. Maybe not quite that fast, but he's probably going 80, like I said. And my dad was like, you almost fucking ran into us. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I was just thinking to myself, this guy's talking out of his ass here. And then as I'm thinking that, my dad opens his door, stands up, and like he's like kissing distance away from this guy. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but they were like a few feet apart. And this is kind of when my dad went all out, and he's like, you could have fucking killed a kid right there. Do you understand how dangerous this shit is? And I'm just like, oh, fuck me. And this guy was not like accepting that he was wrong. He was just like, he kept trying to deny everything that he did. When in reality, if a cop stopped him, he'd probably be spending a night in jail or something. But yeah, he was just not accepting that he was wrong. And then something unexpected happened. My dad just reaches into his window and just slaps the shit out of him. And the guy's like, dude, what the hell? And then my dad wasn't finished, and he just winds up and fucking domes him in the nose. And his nose is bleeding like right after. And then Mr. Speedy is like rolling up his window while this is all happening. And then he just rips off as fast as he can. And then my dad hops in the truck. And I'm like, I was not expecting that. What the fuck was that? And my dad's like, well, you know what? I'd do the same to you if it was you going that fucking fast in this neighborhood. And then he brought up if anything happened to my little siblings because of that. And I was like, you know what? I say you're in the right. And it's kind of funny because when we drove home, there was a cop sitting in the driveway waiting for my dad's arrival. And this kid called the cops, obviously. We don't know what he said, but I doubt that he said what he did. And when the cop asked my dad about it, he just told him the exact same story I told you guys. And the cop was so chill, and he was just like, you know what? I couldn't agree with you more. I would have done the same thing. There are a ton of kids in this neighborhood. I'd rather see a young adult get punched in the nose, have a bloody nose, be fine, than a kid get run over by a young adult. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But if you were to see this guy again, would he be safe? And my dad was like, yeah, as long as he doesn't drive how he did today. And the cop was like, okay, well, you guys have yourselves a good day. And my dad's like, you too, officer. I thought this situation was going to have a very different outcome, but I mean, shit. Don't speed, especially in neighborhoods heavily populated with children. That's going to be one of the lessons of the story. And the other one is, don't do what my dad did. Even though that guy might have been in the wrong for speeding, my dad was also in the wrong. There was no rights in this situation. There's many other options than violence. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to see more. Turn on notifications to not miss an upload. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Later.